Hello everyone and welcome to Who is First Departure. Myzzrym here, bringing you the Qualifier teams of the International 2013. So who's First Departure? It's a team from Singapore, and unlike Mineski and Mistrust, they are a very young team. They have only been up and running since September 2012. So when you compare that to Mineski, who's 2004, and Mistrust, who's 2007 or 2008, they really are the newcomers in this Qualifier. They are sponsored by Armaggeddon. I will come to that later. And as I said, very young, very talented team. Also very young players, around 17 to 20. So they're still in school, and they often trade hits with the Southeast Asian Big Three. By that I mean MUFC, Orange, and Zenith, all three who have been invited directly to the International. Something else to note is that First Departure's signature style is split pushing, as Miracle, the carry player, is really known for his split push play. He really likes heroes like the Anti-Mage, like the Nagasiren, and I think there was even an interview with Miracle saying that no matter what happens, Anti-Mage will always be relevant to the metagame. There will still always be a place for Anti-Mage. And something else that I didn't point out here, but that is good to know, is that we often see, the big Southeast Asian teams like Zenith, Orange, and MUFC, when they need a stand-in, they pick up Miracle when they can. And Miracle has been playing as a stand-in sometimes for those teams, which means that at least the big three, they respect Miracle in terms of skills. So that's good to know. The players, we have Miracle, of course, as the captain, the carry. Paulson is the solo mid, Hannah is the offlaner, Luby is the position 4 as support, and Scripted, who replaces Mean, is the position 5. So, the major achievements. So, a little bit of a sidetrack here. Someone pointed out in the Mineski video, and very wisely so, that the achievements in the past of the team doesn't really necessarily means anything to their chance of success with the current roster in the Qualifier. So I will be making two different pages: the team achievements, kind of like the team history, and then the current roster's achievements, which is more relevant to the subject. For First Departure, it's not really necessary since the team is very young, as I said, and 4 of the 5 players have been here since the making of the team. The only one who has been changed is Mean, who is now Scripted. So what do they have achieved? They have played in Ghost Cup Asia, and Ghost Cup Asia is pretty much the first time I met them as a caster. Ghost Cup Asia is a cup that is hosted by Ghost Gamer. It's $1,000 prize pool every time, and it is a very huge, very huge tournament of around 256 teams, and basically it's very short. So it's best of ones, single elimination until the quarterfinal where it gets to best of 3. So it's very violent, it's very brutal. You can get eliminated very quickly in the first round if you don't have any luck. You lose one game and then you're totally out of the tournament. So getting up to the first position here is not that easy. And you also have big teams like MUFC, Orange, and Zenith playing in those tournaments, as well as we saw some Rattlesnake or Rising Star also in the Ghost Cup Asia. So definitely having big teams here. Ghost Cup Asia 2, they got 3rd place, beating Mineski 1-0 and losing to MUFC 2-0. Ghost Cup 4, they beat Neolution International 2-0, but they lost to Zenith 2-0. And Ghost Cup Asia 5, they were ranked 3rd, losing to Mistrust 2-1. Note that Miracle, in one interview, I think it was some months ago, said that the big giants of Southeast Asia were four teams: Zenith, Orange, MUFC, and Mistrust. So Miracle places Mistrust as one of the big giants of Southeast Asia to defeat. Then we have the Flash Dota 2 League Season 1, where they kind of got very famous here for beating Zenith 2-1 in the best of 3. So there were 3 categories. The open category where they lost to Zenith 2-0, the amateur category where they beat Zenith 2-1, and the pro category where they lost to Zenith. I couldn't find the score. So this is kind of like the moment where people were really talking about First Departure, as they were a team that was pretty famous around Singapore because they're a very young team, very talented, but so far they hadn't had that much success in beating a tier 1 team, and this time in amateur category they actually grabbed the prize from Zenith Snow. So very nice here. Armageddon Dota 2 Grand Slam Asia, they got 2nd and lost to ABC, who is now MUFC 2-1, so it's not a 2-0. And also by getting that 2nd position, they proved that if you don't take into account Orange, Zenith, and MUFC, they are pretty much top tier in the rest of the Southeast Asian team, because they got to second place here above teams like Gizmo, all the teams that are fairly known around Southeast Asia, and by that they also got the sponsors from Armaggeddon. So they are now sponsored by Armaggeddon, and well, very very nice for them. GSC April the GSC April, they got second and lost to MFC 3-0, so they still got up to there and actually managed to, well, get a pretty good result. So, question and answer with Luby and Miracle. I got a hold of them on Skype so I could ask them some questions. You recently switched Mean for scripted. How is the new roster going and do you feel ready? We feel fine since he was our teammate from Dota All-Stars long ago, and we have to feel ready if we want to win the Qualifier. What team do you fear the most in the East Qualifier? LGD, as they are still considered the tier 1 team and they have some of the best players in the world. They can adjust to many situations and therefore it is hard to go unconventional against them. Note that I also asked Miracle if they were going to try to perfect the split pushing or try to, do something new, and they said that they were working on new strategies as well because they don't want to be labeled as a one-trick pony team. So we have also, what team do you consider the most dangerous in the East Qualifier? And surprisingly, it is going to be Rattlesnake in that answer. And the reason to give is because they have the most unconventional picks. So I was really surprised by that answer. I really thought everyone would just be afraid of LGD and also consider them as the most dangerous. But no, here we see that the first departure side, they are afraid of LGD, but they are considering Rattlesnake as the most dangerous. What team do you wish to face the most in the East Qualifier? I wish to face LGD China because we once lost to them and this time want to win against them. So a bit of a confidence boost here. Very nice. Let's see if they can manage to do that. Between the Southeast Asian Big 3, MUFC, Orange, and Zenith, who do you think has the best chance to win? I would say Zenith because they are our Singapore pride, but also because they have the weirdest things to bring to the table. So we can see here that First Departure really respect the unconventional picks, as that is what they are focusing on right now by saying that Rattlesnake is most dangerous because of unconventional picks, and Zenith also because they have the weirder things to bring to the table. So it looks like First Departure really banks a lot on those unconventional picks and think that there is a way to surprise the enemy and get the win out of that by disrupting the flow and not just going for the good old Magnus, Luna, and big push, big team fights. So, any words for the Western viewers who may not know your team? Be surprised, and shout out to our sponsor Armaggeddon and to everyone who has been supporting us so far. So this is the end of the question and answer with Luby and Miracle. So now let's go on to the last panel. So once again, I want to declare that I don't want to hurt anyone with my verdict and my opinions. So just remember that this is not facts at all. I may be wrong, and I may be totally out of place by saying that, but this is only my opinion. Okay, so don't take it too personally if you really love the team and you consider that I'm putting them a very bad mark. It's not so. So strengths is they have very talented players, and I know a lot of teams actually have talented players. Everyone says that talented players is something that is really said too much, but I really feel like First Departure, they have very talented players. They are a team that came out of pretty much nowhere and that got that got qualified to the GST with maybe 2 months of training only. So really nice. They also have very impressive split push style, and as I say that, I know that many teams they split push very well, but I was really impressed by Miracle's Naga Siren in particular, where he would just use his Song of the Siren right next to the barracks, but not close enough so the barracks are invulnerable, but so he sleeps the enemy team, and then he just sent all his delusion, kill the barracks, and TP in the meantime. So it's really annoying to deal with that, and I was really impressed by him doing so. So the weaknesses, of course, is that they are very young. So as I said, most of them are still in school. They have to commit a lot of times to, well, school and thus not practicing, and they also have very unreliable results. They have been seen in, for example, some tournaments and just eliminated in the first or second round. So when they actually get to the top of the tournament. They play very well, but sometimes they just don't get to that point. And they are also a very Southeast Asian centric team, so that means they have been playing a lot with Southeast Asian teams only. So I'm not really sure they are prepared for China. I hope they are prepared for China, and I really wish to see them going up there and showing the world that a young team that may not have a huge history is able to get up to there. So verdict is 5.5 out of 8. As much as I praise them and I say that they are talented players, I still feel like they are behind the Chinese teams and also behind Mistrust, but maybe not by much. The reason why I don't give a 5 or a 6 is because I feel like Neolution International and First Departure are kind of like at the same level. So I don't really want to put one above the other, so I'm just going to give those two the same grade. They have the potential for upsets. I said that when I was talking about the Mistrust, but First Departure, Neolution International, I think really First Departure is the candidate for pretty much having a blast in this East Qualifier, or just failing totally. I feel like it's not going to be in the middle. And I really hope that they show that Southeast Asian Dota have a chance to really get up there and defeat the Chinese teams. So, Luby, Miracle, thank you for answering my question. Big shout outs to you, and hope to see you guys in the East Qualifier raping face of the Chinese teams. This was Myzzrym signing out, and we'll be out for the next video in a few hours, or probably a day. See you guys.